Picked up this badass Raptor 660 yesterday. Fully built, everything. Elka, stage 4 suspension, front and rear. The thing's just mint. Carbon fiber plastics. Beautiful. Full exhaust, CT racing. Hooked up brake lights, rear tail lights, Dominator 2 axle. Test rode it, felt great. I paid $3,600 for it, which was a good deal. The guy had it in Glamis last week, no problems at all. I test rode it, no problems at all. Went for a little ride on the streets yesterday. I bought this yesterday. I blew the fucking rod out of the bottom of the engine in third gear, gunning it. I mean, I wasn't bouncing off the rev limiter or anything, but this beautiful quad in my hands for less than 10 hours, and I just toast the engine. Keep in mind, the engine was bored out to 105 millimeters. I think it was a 736 cc build. I don't know if he upgraded the rod, so it might have just pushed the rod through the engine. But the guy's totally honest. I talked to him after it blew up, and he said he's been riding it. It was just luck of the draw, you know, and I got fucked, you know. $3,600, blown engine. But I mean, with the suspension and stuff, it made me not want to part it out. So I found another Raptor 660 with no title. I've taken it all apart. It runs fine. Pulling this engine out now, and I'm gonna swap it out. I've never done an engine swap before or anything like that. It took me about 4 hours just to get all that shit out and remove all the connections. All the motor mounts are gone, and now I'm just trying to wiggle this guy out of here. But yeah, shit luck. I picked this up for $1,200 plus a trade for a mini bike, which is I think it's a pretty sweet deal because the engine was perfect. But I'm a little afraid to put this engine back in there because I mean I just fucking blew one of these things, so I'm not like totally, you know, convinced that these are the best engines. But again, this guy had this built as a race engine, and you know, maybe I shouldn't have been riding it around town for half an hour, then it blew, you know. So I'm gonna be much more happier with a stock engine, honestly, because that's enough power. I don't need a race engine, especially for like a daily driver riding around town. I mean, everything works on it. It's still I can still turn it on. It's just the engine. So if you want to use something as a daily to ride around, don't get something bored out to just fucking hell, because it costs a lot of money to make a correct bottom end and rods and all that shit. Maybe he did. Maybe I just got bad luck. I don't fucking know. I wasn't sad. I wasn't mad. I was in shock, honestly. So, but now I got a little project I'm working on, and I might have this engine, you know, gone and looked at, and you know, see if anything needs to be changed in it before I swap it over. But then again, you know, I'm not trying to throw more money again into it. But I'm in AZ, and I'm giving the rolling chassis and the plastics to anyone who wants it. Best offer takes it. Yep.